Breaking royal dinner. Princess Leonor joined Prince Christian and his father in Denmark. It was meant to be just another royal dinner. A quiet evening in Denmark, where tradition and family meet at the table. But then, everything changed. For the first time, Princess Leonor of Spain, Spain's future queen, joined Prince Christian and his father at the royal dining table. And what unfolded that evening didn't just surprise the families present. It sent ripples across Europe, sparking headlines, whispers, and questions that no one was prepared to answer. Because this wasn't simply dinner. It was history in the making. At first glance, the gathering seemed ordinary. A meal shared in the grand dining room of Amalienborg Palace, surrounded by candlelight, silver cutlery polished to perfection, and portraits of Danish kings watching silently from the walls. The Danish royal family had welcomed many guests before, but this one was different. This time, it was Leonor, not just a visitor, but a symbol of something greater. She was not there as a tourist, not as a student, but as the daughter of King Felipe and Queen Letizia, the heir to the Spanish crown. And seated beside her was Prince Christian, the boy who would one day be King of Denmark. Across from them sat his father, Crown Prince Frederik, watching closely, as if measuring every word, every glance, every unspoken meaning. The image was striking. Three futures, bound by lineage, duty, and the heavy weight of expectation. Yet beneath the regal surface, there was something more. Something that no camera could fully capture. The tension, the emotion, the possibility of what this dinner truly represented. What did they discuss? Was it a private family matter, or was it the subtle beginning of an alliance that could reshape the European monarchy? Insiders say the evening was carefully arranged, that every detail, from the seating arrangement to the menu, was chosen with purpose. But why? Why now? For Leonor, this dinner marked a milestone. She had just entered the cusp of adulthood, her every step scrutinized by the Spanish public. For Christian, it was a chance to prove himself, not just as Denmark's prince, but as a man capable of stepping into his role with dignity and strength. And for his father, Frederik, it was more than a meal. It was an evaluation, a moment to see how his son carried himself, and how Leonor fit into the picture. The symbolism was undeniable. Spain and Denmark, two monarchies separated by distance but united by tradition, now sharing not just a table, but perhaps a future. Could this dinner be the quiet prelude to something greater, a bond not just of friendship, but of marriage, alliance, and legacy? And here the curiosity deepens. Was Leonor's presence an invitation from Christian himself, or was it orchestrated by the palace, a deliberate move to test the waters of public and private acceptance? The answer remains shrouded in silence, but the very fact that she was there suggests intent. Observers noted Leonor's grace. She entered with quiet confidence, dressed elegantly yet modestly, her every gesture radiating poise. She greeted Frederik with warmth and respect, acknowledging him not just as Christian's father, but as Denmark's future king. Throughout the evening, she listened carefully, speaking thoughtfully, showing not only intelligence but an awareness of the role she would one day inherit. Christian, too, carried himself differently that night. No longer the carefree teenager the world often saw, but a young man aware of the eyes upon him. He leaned toward Leonor, not with arrogance, but with genuine attention, a sign of affection that did not go unnoticed. For those in the room, it was clear, this was not just friendship. There was something deeper, something unspoken yet undeniable. And then there was Frederik. His presence was commanding, his gaze steady. He spoke of tradition, of responsibility, of the burden of crown and duty. At moments, his words seemed directed more to Christian than to Leonor, as though reminding his son of the life he was preparing to inherit. But at other times, his eyes lingered on Leonor, as if seeing in her not just a guest, but a partner, someone who understood, perhaps better than most, the path that lay ahead. So what did this dinner mean? Was it simply a gathering of royals, or was it a signal to the world that something greater was unfolding? Because history tells us that royal dinners are never just meals. They are stages, where alliances are born, where futures are shaped, and where destinies intertwine. For Spain, Leonor's attendance was a message. Their princess was ready, stepping onto the international stage not just as an heir, but as a woman capable of holding her own among Europe's royals. For Denmark, it was a reassurance. Christian's future was unfolding, not in isolation, but in connection, with someone who carried the same burdens, the same responsibilities, the same crown-shaped destiny. And yet, behind the grandeur, there was something tender. In the quiet moments between courses, Leonor and Christian exchanged glances that spoke louder than words. The kind of glances that no protocol can script. Glances of youth, of hope, of a bond that may have been tested in silence but revealed itself in presence. But here lies the deeper question. Was Frederick's approval given that night? Did he, in watching his son and Spain's future queen share a table, quietly nod in acceptance of what might come? Or did he, cautious and protective, leave the evening with more questions than answers? The truth is, no official statement was made. No press release. No photographs leaked beyond what the palace allowed. Yet the world knows enough to understand, this was no ordinary dinner. It was the beginning of a chapter. And so the story continues. Each answered question leading to another. Each moment of silence sparking new curiosity. Will this dinner be remembered as the quiet start of a royal union? Or will it remain a moment of possibility, forever etched in speculation? One thing is certain. Princess Leonor, Prince Christian, and Crown Prince Frederick sat at the same table that night. And in doing so, they gave the world more than a story. They gave us a glimpse of the future, a future filled with love, duty, tension, and the undeniable weight of history. Because sometimes, history is not written in grand speeches or public ceremonies. Sometimes, it begins in the clinking of glasses, the exchange of glances, and the silence of a royal dinner. And that is why this moment, this dinner, has shocked the world.